All right, friends, now that we've warmed our brains up and we learned what those good question words are, it's time to watch Mrs. Opdyke use the questioning strategy as she reads some nonfiction text. So today, I want to show you that we not only ask questions, we answer questions too. I'm going to be reading to you a nonfiction text today called Icy by Juanita Rogers. So, a good reader, before they read, think of things they wonder. What questions might I have about this nonfiction topic? Well, Mrs. Opdyke sees the title is Icy, and I see a real life photograph of ice growing on a tree. So I'm going to be thinking, what are some questions I have? What do I wonder? Well, the first thing I wonder is, how does ice form? It doesn't just get on the tree. I wonder if when I read today, I'll wonder how it gets there. I also wonder, how cold does it have to be icy? So I know the ice in my freezer is icy and cold. I want to know, how cold does it have to be outside for there to be ice out there? I'm also wondering one more thing before I read. I'm wondering, what happens when it gets icy? Does it cause problems? So I have asked these questions and they're kind of giving me a reason to read. I'm wondering if I can find the answers to those questions. So as I'm reading, that's what I'm going to be thinking about today. What was I wondering, and can I find the answers? So let's get started. The air is too warm for snow. The ground is too cold for rain. Look out, it is going to get icy. Icy weather can be beautiful and dangerous. Well, after reading this, icy weather can be dangerous. I'm wondering, why is it so dangerous? But look, I also see there's a Post-it note over here. It looks like someone left me a question. It says, what causes it to get icy? Well, maybe I should reread, because I know we find facts in nonfiction texts. Maybe there's a fact or a detail that will answer that question for me. What causes it to get icy? Let me see. The air is too warm for snow. The ground is too cold for rain. Look out, it's going to get icy. Well, right here in the text, it says the temperature is too warm for it to be snow, and it says the ground is too cold for rain. So what causes it to get icy? It must be because it's in between. The temperature's in between. It's too cold for it to just be wet like rain, but it's not cold enough for it to be snow. So right there, I use these details that I learned to help me figure out the answer to this question. Let's keep reading to see if we wonder something, or maybe we'll find some more questions. Icy weather happens when the temperature is near 32 degrees Fahrenheit. If it gets colder, snow is likely. Much warmer, and it will rain. Well, that's interesting. I'm kind of wondering, what does Fahrenheit mean? That's a word I don't know. Drivers must scrape their windows in icy weather. Well, let's see what this question says. When does it get icy? Oh, well, I saw that fact right here in the text. It says icy weather happens when it's near 32 degrees. So it has to be 32 degrees in order for it to be cold enough. So it gets icy when It's really cold, specifically 32 degrees. Icy weather takes many forms. Sleet, hail, and freezing rain are 3 kinds of icy weather. Hail can be small like peas or bigger than golf balls. What? Bigger than golf balls? Hail can be small like peas? Like in the photograph, and big like golf balls? I wonder, why can hail be different sizes? What makes it different sizes? Oh, look, there's a question for us. What types of icy weather is there? Well, it said it right here in the text. There's different kinds of icy weather. There's sleet, there's hail, and freezing rain. Oh, that makes me wonder, why are there different types of icy weather? What makes each of those things different? Maybe if we keep reading, we'll find out. Let's see. Sleet starts in a cloud of snow. On the way to the ground, it falls through warm air and it melts a little. Then it hits cold air again. It refreezes as sleet. Oh, let's look at our question on our Post-it. Why is sleet dangerous? Oh, well, it doesn't say it's dangerous, but I bet I can figure this out using these details. So it says it starts as snow and then it melts a little, but then when it gets cold again, it refreezes as sleet. Well, I'm thinking that sleet is dangerous because Mrs. Opdyke knows that ice is very slippery. Well, if sleet is falling to the ground, maybe it's dangerous because it can make the ground slippery. So it didn't tell me right in the text, but I could use this detail to help me figure it out. Let's see. In hailstorms, ice balls fall instead of rain. Hail is made in thunderstorms. Well, that's interesting. Hail can fall in any season because the tops of thunderclouds are very cold. Large hail can cause damage to cars and houses. Let's see what our question says. How is hail made? Oh, well, it said it right here in the text. It says hail is made in thunderstorms. So sleet happens when it starts to snow. What makes hail different is it's made in thunderstorms. I found it really interesting that hail can fall in any season, that it doesn't have to be cold because thunderclouds are very cold. That was an interesting detail about how hail is made. Freezing rain is water that is cold as ice. It is rain when it falls. It freezes as soon as it lands. Freezing rain covers everything it touches with ice. Oh, you know what I'm wondering? If it freezes as soon as it lands, how cold does the ground or the trees have to be for it to freeze into ice? I'm not sure. Maybe if we keep reading, we'll find out. When moist air freezes, it forms frost. Oh, I've seen that when I walk out in the winter in the mornings. It's all over the place. Frost makes feathery patterns on doors and windows. When the sun hits frost, it melts away. Frost covers a rose and its leaves. Oh, here's another question. How is frost made? I bet there are details or facts in the text to answer this. Let's see here. It says when moist air freezes, it forms frost. Oh, that means that it's made. So the answer to how is frost made? Moist, moist means wet, air freezes. My answer is right there in the text. Freezing fog leaves frost and ice everywhere. Roads get slick and the fog is hard to see through. It is a bad time for driving. So I knew that it's hard to drive in fog, but I had no idea that there's freezing fog. Well, what makes fog freezing? How is it different than just regular fog that we drive in? Something I'm wondering. In an ice storm, ice builds up on roads and trees. The ice is heavy. It pulls down trees and power lines. What happened when ice gets heavy? What happens when ice gets heavy is my question. Well, it says it right here. The ice builds up, it gets heavy. Well, it pulls down trees and power lines, and I can see that in the photograph. You know, the answer to my question makes me wonder something. It makes me wonder what happens when it pulls the trees and power lines down. Do the trees break? What happens to the power? These are questions I'm wondering. Ice can be dangerous, but it can be beautiful too. Trees and grass sparkle like jewels. What do you do when it's icy outside? So boys and girls, I hope that today you really listened to Mrs. Opdyke. Not only did I ask questions, things I was wondering when I read, but I also answered them. And the things that help us answer our questions are the details or the facts we're learning as we read. So my friends, you're gonna head on to the next part of our playlist and you're gonna do a little reading on your own and answer some questions. Good luck, readers.